when you're not willing to make people uncomfortable, when you're not willing to have or make enemies out of people, you end up having all kinds of people who think they can do whatever they want to you, about you, around you, because you're never going to do anything about it. And the people that function that way are not necessarily they're doing their thing, okay? Their life, their choice. But what happens is you tend to contract you really dynamically. Hello, beautiful people. This is Dr. Dane. Welcome to this installment of the Tour of Consciousness from lovely Houston. Yay! There, that was Houston. I am fresh from a world tour. I have hit some highlights like Istanbul, Vienna, Berlin. Woo! I know if you were going on a world tour, you would think, whoa, those are the places I want to go to. I know, I just did that. Okay, so what is the tool for today? Well, how much of your life do you spend not being willing to make other people uncomfortable, which causes you to make you really uncomfortable instead, and sort of contract you, and also like it feels like you spend your whole life trying not to walk, like walking on eggshells, trying not to crush them. But here's the thing, if you're walking on the path of your life and somebody throws eggshells and you crush them, well, they threw the eggshells, so why is it your fault if they get crushed? So I'm going to tell you a little story, and this is why. Oh, the cicadas! They're just waking. Good morning, cicadas! Hello! Got it. Well, that was funny. I guess they just wanted a hello, and then they got quiet. So I'm going to tell you a little story. And I apologize in advance because this story might require a whiteboard to diagram the story so you can understand the story. Okay, so I was talking to a friend who said, will you help me, please? My ex-boyfriend slept with a woman in our friend group, and she talked to me about it, and I just went, no, it's okay, it's fine. And I was not willing to make her uncomfortable. And I was like, oh my God, we do that so much. We try to smooth things over for other people rather than making them aware or getting them to possibly be aware of the effect their choice creates. Why? Because we don't want to make them uncomfortable, and we don't want to make them an enemy. And so it's an interesting thing where when you're not willing to make people uncomfortable, when you're not willing to have or make enemies out of people, you end up having all kinds of people who think they can do whatever they want to you, about you, around you, because you're never going to do anything about it. And the people that function that way are not necessarily they're doing their thing, okay? Their life, their choice. But what happens is you tend to contract you really dynamically. So in this particular scenario, there's another friend in that friend group that was actually a friend to the lady whose ex-boyfriend slept with another friend in the friend group. Just breathe it in for a minute. Okay, Bridget, there you go. Okay, you got it. And her friend said to her, why did you do that? You just basically caved in and told her that what she did was totally fine. And I know you don't have a problem with it because you have the strength to know that nothing can truly affect you. But what if the greatest gift would have been to say to her, hey, there's 8 billion people on this planet. Why could you not have chosen one of them instead of the few people in our friend group to sleep with? But she didn't because she didn't want to make that person uncomfortable. Now, here's the thing about consciousness. Consciousness is awareness. One of the things about consciousness is if we don't ask a question like that, and sorry, the ADHD is strong. Oh, I'm going to just try to be a little less ADHD for a moment. If we don't ask somebody a question like that, they have no choice to get more awareness because they're just going along living their life blindly. But if this woman had said something like, for what reason did you choose this? And because a lot of people walk around like, oh my God, I did it because I was so drunk and so turned on. And yeah, guess what? When we're asked a question like, for what reason did I choose this? It can be so helpful. But you also have to do it not from judgment, because there's a lot of people that have come to us and said, I need to tell you my truth. And what does that mean? Well, you know they have a dagger and they're going to stab you as many times in the heart as they can. And what they're really saying is, I need to offload all of my judgments on you and you can't do anything about it because it's my truth. You and your truth can take a long walk off of a short pier. Bye-bye. If I have somebody say that to me, I'm like, not interested. Thank you, bye. Which also gives them awareness of choice or an awareness of what they're choosing. So this lady actually missed an opportunity to create awareness, and in so doing, she had to cave herself in, and she walked away feeling less than. She walked away feeling like less powerful, less happy, less connected to everybody, less connected to herself, all because she wasn't willing to make somebody uncomfortable. So what do we do about it? Well, I hope you saw the video I did on personalities. It was a tour of consciousness. Not only that, I did a free live on all the places, except TikTok probably because it was too long, on YouTube, Facebook, Insta, about busting out of the prismatic prison. Well, in there, one of the big things I talk about is personalities. And what personalities are, they're like this autopilot we function from, like, for example, making people comfortable and never having enemies. And the interesting part about that, even when I say the word enemy, like, well, if you don't have a point of view about it, then you're not the effect of it. And people can do whatever they do, but you'll be willing in the moment to function from your awareness. Because when we have to make people comfortable, what we do is we cut off our awareness of what needs to be said or what needs to be asked. So I say again, this has to be done from no judgment, but it is a beautiful thing when you do that, okay? And you do it from no judgment, and you ask a question like, so for what reason did you choose this? And what we're acknowledging to the other person is they chose it, and they actually had a reason for it. Now, a lot of people will actually get vulnerable if you do it from no judgment, because they kind of would like to know too, because they make choices like this over their entire life, but nobody ever calls them on it. Or they'll do it in judgment, which allows them to defend against it. But if you do it from no judgment, like, for what reason did you choose this? Or what result were you hoping to create here? Oh my God, I have done that with people who everybody else has problems with all the time, and they would do something, the mean thing that they do to everybody else, and I go, let me ask you a question. You chose that for what reason? What result were you hoping to create? And then the other thing that you can also say, if it was a mean thing, is what makes you think that's an appropriate choice? Once again, not from judgment. I don't know if you get how crucial this is. And I have had people go, oh, I chose it to get you to separate from me and judge me. And I'm like, oh, wow. Okay, and then I would, say, hey, can we look at this a little further? And what would often be the case is I would say, okay, have you done this a lot of your life? And they go, yeah, my whole life. And I'm like, okay, how old are you being when you do this? And they would be like, I don't know, 2, 3, 5, something like that. And I'm like, so what happened then? And they would go, oh my God, I was so nice and my mom just hated it and she railed at me and I've been separating from people ever since. Or I'm doing the exact same thing my mom and dad did to each other. And I really, actually, in my world, I thought it was caring. Like, wow. Okay, so do you get the gift and the value of not functioning from judgment? And what happens is not functioning from judgment in this conversation, but not functioning from judgment that allows you to even have the conversation. And so what happens in that is you're actually bringing clarity and awareness, and you no longer have to tiptoe on the broken glass or the broken eggshells of everybody else's realities. Instead, you can walk through the world and know, okay, if there's a conversation that needs to be had because somebody does something dishonoring, I can be there and I can ask a real simple question like, okay, what made you think it was appropriate to choose this? You chose this for what reason? Not from judgment. This is a game changer, my friends. This works in interpersonal relationships, business relationships. This thing works everywhere. But you have to get over the unwillingness to make other people the unwillingness to make them uncomfortable. So what ESCC, what energy, space, consciousness, choice, magic, miracles, mysteries, possibilities, power, and potency can you be to be willing to make other people uncomfortable if it will create greater with total ease? Everything that doesn't allow that, right and wrong, good and bad, POD and POC, all 9 shorts, boys, POVEDs, and beyonds. Also, what's the value of never having others be uncomfortable and being uncomfortable yourself instead. Everything that is times a godzillion. We destroyed and created all, please. Right and wrong, good and bad, pot and pock, call 9, shorts, boys, poveds, and beyonds. There's another great question you can ask. What's the value of never having or making enemies? Everything that is times a godzillion. Right, wrong, good, bad, all 9, pod, pock, shorts, boys, poveds, and beyonds. If you don't know what that is, it's something called the clearing statement. You could go to theclearingstatement.com, where my best friend Simone and I explained it to you for over 20 minutes. But it's a way of changing everything. It is one of the biggest upgrades in personal development since there has been personal development. And it works by creating more consciousness and undoing the places where you function from unconsciousness, because the only time you ever create a difficulty in your life is when you function from unconsciousness, which is unawareness, or anti-consciousness, which is where you have awareness but you go against it. Whew! Oh my goodness, there's a hummingbird. I don't know if you can see it. Can you? I hope. Okay, bye-bye. And like a hummingbird, it's out of here. I love hummingbirds. We're doing all of this by bringing more consciousness and more awareness. And a tool always is what's true for you. Easy for me to say. What's true for you always makes you lighter. A lie will always make you heavier. And so when you're doing I don't want to make them uncomfortable, so I'm twisting myself into total discomfort, that's not lighter, that's heavier. That's not what's true. And so what you're doing is you're diminishing the level of truth in the world, if you will, the level of what actually is and what can be in the world, by this unwillingness to make people uncomfortable when it's appropriate. And by the way, a lot of times what you think will make somebody uncomfortable actually won't. It'll actually help set them free. Now, just wanted you to have all that back story. So, I had a joke I was going to tell, but this video is already so long. And pardon the bags under my eyes, I have not yet recovered from my worldwide tour. Woo! What a tour it was, and is continuing to be. So, beautiful you. Those processes are there so you can actually change it. And this could be a much more in-depth video. We could go for a lot longer and talk about a lot of these pieces, but I will leave you for now, my beautiful friends, from the lovely forest of Houston, where in the latest storm about 3 weeks ago, a month ago, 3 weeks ago, lots of trees. See down there, lots of trees fell down. But guess what? Apparently nature is willing to make anybody uncomfortable. Nature's like, I'm doing my thing, you figure your shit out. Oh, it was your house? So sorry, maybe you shouldn't have put it here. I don't know. I don't know what nature has going on. All I know is nature does not have a problem with making people uncomfortable. So there you go. So, what if you truly being you, with the willingness to make people uncomfortable and recognize the gift that can be for you in the world, are the gift, the change, and the possibility this world requires. Thank you for being my beautiful friends, and also please like and subscribe. And one other thing, you notice there are no commercials on my videos. It's because I've purposely chosen not to monetize my channel. Though I thought maybe, and part of the thing about that is we're effectively shadow banned by YouTube because they don't make any money on my channel. So if you want other people to see this, liking, subscribing, and commenting would be really helpful. Even if your comment is, fuck you, Dr. Day. I'm willing. I'm fine with that. Okay? Any comment is a good comment. There's no such thing as a bad comment on YouTube. Who knew? Ha ha! And also, please share it with your friends, because I don't know about you, but I know a lot of people who could use this conversation. On that note, I can't wait to see you in the next video, or the next place, or space, or somewhere where we can gather. And I cannot wait to see you in person someday and give you the biggest damn hug. Mwah! Kisses on your cheeks, beautiful you. See you next time. Bye-bye!